My name is Jonathan Thomas. It's January 28th, 2019, and this is my Module 3 assignment for gender roles in our society. So, for the first item that we talked about, we did the gender test, and some of the questions they asked if they believe that this is a good test for the basis of finding out gender. And I don't really believe that this test is a good basis to really test for gender because I feel the questions that they provide were more asking me if for like personality questions. In my opinion, I feel like gender should be more tested with like psychological questions other than these personality questions and feel more comfortable with scientific like testing of DNA and finding out the differences between like a male and female brain that we talked over and the different chromosomes in a male and female body. So I moved on to some examples, some videos that they showed us. The first video was the South African runner, and in this video they discussed about a woman who was running and she took first and won with a huge lead above the other girls. There were speculations that the runner was actually born a man and that they went through a sex change operation to gain a competitive edge. The organization demanded that she take a test to prove that she was a woman. And when she took this test, they found that she had a medical condition that presented male chromosomes. So in this case, I feel that she still should be able to compete because she did not genetically enhance anything. It wasn't her choice. It was a medical condition that she had that presented these male chromosomes. So I see nothing wrong with her being able to compete. And then in this next video that they showed with a transgender college basketball player, this is a completely different case because he was born a male and he played basketball his entire life. He disappeared from the sport for almost a year, if I remember correctly. And when he returned to play women's basketball because he got a gender change operation. And in this case, I don't feel that he should be able to compete in women's basketball because he was born a male and he still benefits from the uh, male physical abilities that males tend to have over women. And I feel this gives them a unfair advantage over the other players in the women's basketball organization. I feel like this should be in like all sports that it shouldn't happen because it gives them an unfair advantage, and it just it wouldn't be right or fair for the other players who play in that sport. And then we moved on to the third video, which was talking about a soccer player and one rival organization threw out some speculations that the one player on the other organization was actually a male who got a gender reassignment surgery, and that they demanded that she take a gender test to see what her actual gender was. And the the owners who had that player on their team stated that she took a gender test when she was 15 and that she passed, but they didn't really go into detail with what that meant. For this case, I don't really feel like that they had any clear evidence that she was a male. It was just speculations at this point, and she wasn't really outclassing all the other females on the team or on the opposing team. So there was a huge case about whether her basic human rights were being violated by forcing her to take this test. But I feel that with the test that she took when she was 15, they say she passed, is evident enough that she is clear to play in the women's soccer league. I mean, if she had the birth certificate and everything checked out okay, that she should be able to play. There's just not enough evidence really to make a decision. And that's the problem with trying to have an outside source make a decision like this, because there's so little information presented to that individual. But I feel that with the information that they presented to me, that she should still be able to play. And really, to conclude, like, I believe that we should measure gender in by the previous medical exams and what gender the individual was born. There's blood tests that they can tell from this, and other scientific tests that they can do, but these sometimes can be difficult to decipher, because in the case of the first video where the runner, there could be medical conditions that can make the readings inaccurate and they can be wrong. I believe that medical examiners done in the past to provide gender of the individual and the birth certificate, as I explained, that those should be, I feel, good enough for sporting events. I feel it's right to do this when there's when there's suspicion, and there's evidence to prove, to show that they're clearly outscoring or outplaying the other individuals. And you really only see this where males transition over into females, and it's real difficult in some cases. But I feel that if they can have a birth certificate and they were stated that they were born male or female, they should be able to compete in those assigned genders. Um, we see this in the South African runner, where they threw out speculations where she was a male, but because she was outclassing everyone in that race, but they just found out that when they did the test that she had a medical condition that gave her male chromosomes, so that kind of threw off the test a little bit there. But in other cases with the transgender call hoops player, in my opinion, I don't feel that that should be allowed. I feel that's wrong, because it gives them a competitive edge over the other women in that league, and I just feel it gives them too much of a competitive edge, and that it's just unfair for them. So those are my feelings and my opinion of this assignment. I feel like this was a very interesting assignment to go over, because it really made me think about the gender rules and the ideas of how everything was supposed to be. So, thank you and have a nice day.